I'm Neville Marten from Guitarist magazine.
And I'm Richard Barrett.
Today we've got a couple of orange amps to show you. Sitting on this 1x12 cabinet here is an OR15. It's a 15 watt, single channel high gain amp designed to punch out a lot of dirt.
And I have the Dual Terror, a more of a classic rock thing happening, where we have the Tiny Terror front end in two slightly different versions, foot switchable. One is identical to the original Tiny Terror. The second channel is called the Fat channel, and that has more of an emphasis on a wide mid boost. And we'll compare the two in a while anyway, so you can judge for yourself.
So that kind of more fatter rhythm or punchier lead, or however you want to configure it?
I guess so, actually, yeah. I mean, what I was hearing was, yeah, the Tiny Terror channel, a little bit more edgy, slightly less emphasis on the mids, more on the bottom and top, and the other channel, plenty of bottom on it still, but it's just a bit smoother, I suppose.
Well, the original Tiny Terror was a monster of an amp. I remember you may have seen Gary Moore on a Guitarist YouTube video.
That's a great
I was
video.
actually interviewing him, and he was using an orange Tiny Terror through, I think, an orange 4x12 cabinet. I can't quite remember. And he played a just 12 bar blues on his own, on his red 335, and the fire alarm went off. And if you want to Google Gary Moore fire alarm blues, that's it. And that's the sound of a Gibson 335, 63, I think, flat out through an orange Tiny Terror. That's what this is emulating.
Yeah, technically, in some ways, it reminded me of that sound. Yeah.
As soon as we plug these totally different guitars in, you're straight in that kind of sonic ballpark, aren't you? You know where you are.
Yeah.
Both the amps are all valve. Mine's 15 watt with two EL84s in the power stage, 3 12 AX7s and one AT7, which...
I think that's for the loop. If I'm right, that's a lower gain one, isn't it? The AT7.
Yeah, I think
there
so.
are a few different flavours.
So. Yeah. So that's the valve-driven effects loop in the back, which we're actually not using today. But what about yours?
Mine is 4 EL84s, so mine will go up to 30 watts, and I have it set on that at the moment, so you get that bit of extra punch, and the usual 3 12 AX7s, ECC 83s, or whatever name that you come across. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Do you want to talk through your controls?
Sure.
Very simple.
Yeah, it is, and that's the nice thing about it as well. And I'm sure a lot of people would agree. In a recording studio, it's great to have the choice, isn't it? And to be able to really zone in and be surgical. But for live gear, like distortion pedals, and thinking about it, looking at this amps, I just want something that sounds kind of how I want.
Yeah.
And I can trim it.
Exactly.
And not worry about it. And that's the idea here. At the moment, I've got it set on the Tiny Terror channel.
Yeah.
What I've actually done, because I thought it'd be interesting. I don't know if anyone else is going to agree with me.
I'm sure they would.
I've duplicated the settings so I can flick to the Fat channel and just see. So I've set it a bit gainy, sort of really dirty rhythm, not quite so filthy lead. Let's have a listen to a few A, G and D chords.
Okay.
I'm playing those chunky things just to show that it's got quite a fast response.
And that's the Tiny Terror channel.
Tiny Terror channel. So shall I not speak and go between the two?
Yeah.
I'll play again. So it's funny actually, when I flicked, because of where I'm sat, I'm not sure I'm getting the true response. That felt quite snarly when I put the button down.
It did.
Technical term.
Yeah, it did. There's a definite shift that I couldn't really tell what it was, but there's a slight shift.
Yes.
Didn't do a huge jump.
No, it's not some massively kind of different EQ setting, but they've definitely said that it's emphasising the mids for, I think they call it mid-forward leads, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
And fatter chords. So that's what makes me feel that it might be quite a wide band mid. You know, people talk about a mid boost in something like Tube Screamer. I always feel like that's quite a narrow sort of boost, which might be just what you want, but I tend to prefer if it's a few frequencies either side of that as well. So I'll try a couple of licks through the Tiny Terror channel, and then I'll flick and try something similar on the other channel, see if we can hear what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, very different.
Some of the top seems to have come off on the second channel.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's more of a kind of curve like that on the EQ, where the other one sounds a little bit more flat or like that. That's what I'm getting sat here anyway. So
yeah, I think you could tweak them so they're pretty unalike, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the tone set just at 12 o'clock on each one.
Traditionally, orange controls don't go wild, do they? You know, the treble turn full up isn't unusable like it is in some amps, and the bass likewise. So
I like that personally as well.
I always like it.
It just always feels, because if you end up running the treble down at 2 all the time, I feel like there must be something wrong.
Yeah, why didn't they design it so that's flat? That's the flat sound. Yeah. Exactly, I agree. Okay, well, mine, the one here, the OR15, it's a 15 watt, but it's switchable to half power. I've actually got it on the full 15 watts here. So obviously I've got a Strat, so there's a bit of hum because I'm right next door to it. I had the tone control on the bridge pickup down a little bit. I've got the tone control on this guitar, so you know I can. You can hear the single colonist on the top strings.
Yes,
but you go on the bottom. It could almost be that guitar.
Yeah,
you do that there.
That's a really big Strat sound.
It's a very big Strat sound, yeah. I mean, that's all bridge pickup. If I go to the neck pickup. You can hear the EL84s have always got that sweet top. It comes through, you can hear it coming through.
I like that about it.
You can hear it coming through.
We need the top, don't we, and everything, especially in context, in a mix, but just, the wrong top is just awful.
Exactly. So. I'll just quickly, while I'm at it, I'll knock that back to about 6.5 on the tone. That's 15 watts. It's quite noticeably quieter.
Yes, absolutely. And it's got such a growly kind of thickness to it. It's very hard to describe.
It really has. I mean, controls-wise, it's very, very simple. Because it's a one channel, I've just got the master volume there, bass, middle, treble, and that's a gain control. And I've got the gain about 3/4 there, so I'm running it quite hard. But you know, both amps do clean up remarkably well. This is supposed to be a high gain amp, but you can tame it quite a lot. If I knock the gain control down to about, I don't know, where are we? That's the master flat out, and that's the. That's very clean, isn't it?
That's putting out some level as well. Yeah. And I'm impressed with that cleaning up. I mean, shall I have a go at this perhaps on the... maybe I'll go for the Tiny Terror channel. I've had my gain set about the same as you, about 3/4 of the way up,
Yeah.
or 60% or so. So if I just bring that down to about 2, and maybe mirror that with the volume here, I'll be very careful at first. Digging in on the neck pickup is quite a. It'll tell you, won't it, whether you've run out of headroom or not very quickly. And I'm digging in a bit more than I normally would, because I'm testing this. Yeah, that's clean. How far
Because the
can I
great
go?
advantage with that is you could set up one channel for clean, one channel for dirty. And if you put the switch in, that could be your lead and rhythm channel.
That's it. Yeah, there's no effects loop on this one, but you do have the foot switchable channels and everything.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time, even in a function gig now, I think you can afford to run an amp at a lower level if you want to. I mean, these are loud, but you could run it at a lower level and let somebody else deal with the ambiances and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I would run, if I were playing with this on stage, in this lovely little rig actually, it would be a lovely rig to have on stage. I would set the gain of this to just starting to do something. So it's clean, but with a hair on it kind of thing.
Yes.
And then I'd run it with my pedals. That's how I find working with an amp really does.
And you could use the loop for the kind of reverbs or whatever you wanted.
Yeah, you could put your reverbs and your delays through that, and choruses and perhaps, and then run your overdrive through the front. So why don't you try and set up a?
Well, if I just check my. I think I've, for once in my life, correctly guessed what the levels should be like. So if I. I'm curious to see, coming from clean like that, you know, going from absolutely clean to distorted always messes with my head, and I think, oh, I need to like EQ the distortion side. So I might have a look at the scope of this tone control.
Okay, yeah, do it.
Because there's only the one tone control, so and it does have this sort of bass symbol on you know, to the anti-clockwise. I had to think about that. Can you believe it? And the treble to the clockwise side. So if I just take it right down. Okay, I mean it's not rubbish sound. It's just a little bit man in a box, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I had it halfway as a presumption, really, that would be good. So I'm just taking it up a bit. Let's see where it's centered. And just for the hell of it. That would get me chucked out of a guitar shop, wouldn't it? Probably.
It would. I really liked it with the treble up, actually. With the tone
I mean,
up.
I might just lose a little bit of master volume off that. I almost felt that between 8 and 10 there, something happened. I don't know, it seemed to maybe compress a little bit more, but that might just be a feel thing rather than something that you'll hear.
That's a very articulate sound, isn't it?
It's quite well chosen. I would say there's probably like very high mids, isn't it?
I mean, if you were playing a riff along with a bass guitar.
I'm guessing that at home you'd probably run it lower, but then you'd get into the rehearsal room and think, I need some more cut.
Yeah.
But you could get that without wrecking your sound, which is nice.
Absolutely. Should we play something?
Oh, yes.
Why don't I play some chords quite cleanly on my Strat, and you play some leads? They sound complemented each other, those sounds, very, very much.
Yeah, easy to just do that. We could just play and not have to go, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Sort
But I'm
something out.
surprised at the amount of clean that this has got, given...
Yeah, they're marketing it as a high gain amp.
Well, let's, out of interest, reverse that thing.
Whoa.
So...
I get the feeling that's going to be dirty.
Okay.
Yes.
Well...
That's great, especially when you're playing the upper strings there and doing those bends on the third. It's got loads of weight underneath it.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with that as a lead sound.
It's lovely. That's a really nice sound with the Strat. That really works.
Yeah.
Works well. And I, as Richard did, kind of basically set the tone in the middle, so everything's flat. Nothing's boosted or scooped out. I've got them all halfway. I mean, I could. Sound nice with the Rickenbacker 12 string, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I'll put that
Just
back.
wait for them to send us one and we can find out.
Yeah. I'll put the treble back and put the mid up. Still ultra usable.
I like where they've got the mids.
They've got it. They always do. I'll leave that. No, I'll knock the mid back to the middle. Put the bass full up. Take the bass right off. Yeah, just something comes out, but it's
It
not.
lightens it up a bit. It doesn't sound like a small box amp.
No, not in the slightest. Not in the slightest.
And this one I think is more the classic rock. Though there's no shortage there. I noticed that sort of going up from about 5, I really thought, well, it's not going to run out of gain.
Well, around the back, there's kind of nothing to speak of really. I've got 3 speaker outs here, so you could use a couple of forward 12s if you wanted to, and they do say that will handle that very, very well, or go into a tuba 12 or whatever you wanted. We've just literally got one out into this 1x12 here.
Speaking of the cabs, we're using what we had here in the Tone Lounge, so we're not promoting Zilla cabs. It's just we have the 2 1x12s. It is worth pointing out that Orange do a whole range of cabs, 1x12s, 4x12s, all sorts, and so doubtless you could get a lot of amazing tones plugged into one or more of those.
Exactly. Well, in summary, these amps just deliver exactly what
terrific.
They say they're going to deliver. What just stunned us was the price, because we looked the prices up online, and well, do you tell us what yours is, Rich?
549. I thought it was going to be considerably more.
We guessed around the grand. This is 539. Again, we've looked up online. That's available in UK shops for that kind of money. This also comes in an orange cabinet if you'd rather go with the full original spec,
Orange experience,
full orange experience, and it would look lovely on an orange cabinet as well. But that's incredible. That's a lot of valve amp for the money, isn't it?
Yeah,
isn't it?
When you plug into something and it's got that quality of sound from the top high E string to the bottom E, you know, and there's a thickness and a richness. You're not eking a sound out of it. It's there.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Muscle behind what you're doing.
Okay, you haven't played through this one, Rich.
I haven't.
I haven't played through that one, so I don't know which one I'd choose. That possibly for its usability live. This possibly as a studio amp. I don't know.
From here, and I'm very aware that we're sat on top, it's not optimum sort of listening position, but hearing your Strat through that from here, I'm thinking, wow, if I wanted to get a real amp sound, not sim, not software or anything, be very tempted to look into something like that. But like this as well, though.
You can tell by our obvious enthusiasm for these amps that we do genuinely love them, and I think you should go out and try one as soon as you possibly can.
Yep.